Good morning, students, and from my virtual classroom. Today, I wanted to continue with reviewing back from EQ2, which was functions. So when we learned about the different function families, I had you guys create this graphic organizer in your notebook where you wrote down the type of function, the description, the graph, and the equation. Obviously, you don't have your notebooks with you today, but we're still going to use the same PowerPoint. So, my face is kind of over the picture right now. Let me see if I can move myself. Aha. All right, here we go. I'll just move myself around depending on the function. So the first type of function we learned about this year was the linear function that you had learned about in previous years. Remember, that is a straight line that is increasing, decreasing, or constant. So you can have a linear function, or you can have a linear constant function if it is horizontal or vertical, and those come in the form y equals mx plus b with the examples that you see below. The next type of function we learned about was the quadratic function. So the quadratic function makes a U or upside down U shape. This is called a parabola. These come in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so you could have something as simple as just y equals x squared, or you could have the full quadratic equation, y equals 2x squared plus 4x plus 1. Next up was the exponential function, which we talked about quite a bit this year. Exponential functions are curved lines that are either increasing or decreasing, and they come in the form y equals ab to the x power. So remember, exponential exponent is x. So we have things like y equals 3 to the x power, y equals 2 times 4 to the x power. So this was one of the last big EQs that we did before school was out, where we talked about exponential growth and exponential decay. But right now we're just talking about the basics. Up next, we have linear absolute value functions. Linear absolute value functions. So those make a V shape. They're linear because they're two straight lines that make a V shape. So linear absolute value function. And those are going to have the absolute value symbol around them. So like y equals the absolute value of x is our base function. And then we could have things like y equals the absolute value of x plus 4, or just y equals the absolute value of x plus 3. So again, these are going to make the V shape. Okay, next up was the piecewise function. Remember, it's called piecewise because it's in pieces. So it's pieces of other functions. It could be a mixture of all the different types of functions. Okay, and then you have some examples below. So for example, you have y equals negative 2x minus 5, comma, x is less than 0. Y equals 3 to the x power, comma, x is greater than or equal to 0. So you're going to have a mix of different types of equations separated by commas, and that's going to tell you that it is piecewise. Okay, and so then just a quick review for yourself. If this is something that you want to submit to me, you can. You're welcome to submit it to me via email. You can just do it for yourself, or you can submit it to me through Remind. If you haven't signed up for Remind yet, please do so. You can easily text me if you do that. But we have 3 examples here, number 1, number 2, and number 3. All you need to do is tell me what type of functions these are. And I'm going to go ahead and move on, but to answer this question, obviously, you can just pause your video, right? All right, last 2, number 4 and number 5. Again, what type of graph is represented in these functions? And again, just pause your video to be able to answer these. And then lastly, if we look at the equations, what type of equations are representing here or are represented here? I'm not going to go back and record. I make mistakes when I speak in class, so whatever. Okay. Hope you guys have a really great Thursday.